It's been a really crazy, and I mean crazy with capital letters, crazy week for a lot of, I dare say, almost all Nigerians. One way or the other, you must have felt the cash crunch that has bedeviled the country for the better part of the last 2 or maybe 3 weeks. Earlier today, there were protests in Ogun State with some devastating effects, and it's been the hallmark of what we have witnessed almost across the country. It's 5 days to the general elections. What is the plan to bring you all you need to know before the election, on election day, and after the election? We'll try and do justice of that on the show this evening, and it's my cue to welcome you to another wonderful edition of the Newsroom. It's a program where we try to take a critical look at some of the big stories that have made the rounds in the course of the last week. Ufuoma Egbamuno is my name, and it feels great to be here. I've got a full house, but no, I've not got outsiders. I've got the newsroom right here. Basically, my colleagues are in the studio, and together we will try and do justice to some of the big stories we have for you. Let me start welcoming them one after the other, starting with the man who doesn't want to be here. He honestly does not. He's very camera shy, but I dragged him into the studio. That's Cool Wazobia Info's senior news editor, Babatunde Pratt. Tunde, a very good evening to you.
What is good about this evening?
I got to talk to a microphone, Joe.
Tell me what is good.
Also, another senior news editor. It's like and then on our sister station as Ike is in
But you can tweak it.
And I've got another colleague before they accuse me of gender bias. One of my most industrial colleagues. She's absolutely wonderful, if I'm the one saying so. She also doubles as my personal assistant. Precious Nena Okon, welcome to the newsroom.
Thank you. Good evening,
Sorry, say that again.
Good evening, Lagos.
Okay, I think I did not even on Ikechiko's mic at first.
Oh, so my mic wasn't on?
And now it's on.
Oh, Lagos, can you hear me now?
Okay, guys, we're trying to laugh here in the studio and make, try as much as possible to make light of the situation we found ourselves, but it has been a tough challenge. Let me start with Nena. At least my two other guys are rich men. They can as well find ways to get petrol and drive themselves to work. Nena has to look for cash, to enter BRT or enter bus to come to work. Nena, how has it been over the last 2 weeks?
It has been a very terrible experience coming to work. In fact, today I even went around VI looking for cash, and I couldn't get any. Most of the ATMs that were dispensing had a very large number of people there. Most of the ATMs where I went to in Ajose had very large number of people there, so it has really been very difficult, especially because most bus drivers are just adjusting to the new system of having to do transfers to them.
Okay.
Yes, unlike paying with cash. So
they've started collecting transfers.
Yes.
Wow, that's brilliant. I would say that's brilliant. But let's leave Ajose. Some of us are used to the Ajose issues. Yeah, let's talk about what it's like in your axis, the K2 mile 12 axis. There was some issues sometime last week, that we reported. What is it like trying to get cash or try to buy things like regular things you buy? I don't want to mention the product, but I think the malams fry in the evening that we go to buy with bread to eat. What has it been like?
So back there on the mainland, no cash, no sale. Most of them are not selling, because when you even try to ask them, oh madam, can I transfer to you, the next thing you hear is, no, I no get accounts. So most of them don't have accounts, and then you are unable to do transfer to them. In fact, last weekend I went around my side to look for cash. I couldn't find cash at all. At Ikeja on Saturday, the place where they had cash was old notes.
Old 500
yes,
and
old
1,000.
500 and old 1,000, and I was unable to collect it, because if I collect the old notes, how will I spend it?
Big problem. Ikechukwu. Okay. Pat, you're also on that axis. You have the little bit of leverage that you can drive your big car and come, but I'm sure you're but I'm sure you're still feeling
Is your car not big?
Don't mind now. Don't make a cast stand here again. Tell us what is it? What has it been like for you?
You know, the funny thing about this President Shege. Okay, there's this joke I saw last week. I think on someone's status, that said Nigerians have been seeing Shege, but this President Shege is and the thing about this one is, it does not affect just a section of the society. This affects almost everybody, either you're using a car or not. Now you're talking about people that, okay, yes, they don't have cars and all of that. It's affecting those that have cars too, because as it is, you go to fuel stations, they will tell you, most of the fuel stations, around my side will tell you they are not collecting. In fact, which transfer are we talking about? Is the transfer even going to start with? It's not even going to start with. Now, they will tell you that they are not collecting transfer. Their POS, that one is even not working.
That's the new style.
Yeah,
now.
that's the new style. It's not working. So that one is even dead. They will now tell you they need cash. The cash they need is not old notes. By the time you go to POS, okay, you leave your car, you go to POS to get cash.
And the POS is there.
POS is there.
But theirs is not working.
But POS is working.
Okay.
And POS2 will tell you, oh God, we don't have the new notes. You have, we are giving you old notes. Now you get stopped. What do I do? Old notes you can't collect because fuel station won't collect it. What do you do? So it's affecting everybody. How do you get fuel? At the end of the day, you have to stand and start. Like I bought fuel yesterday at the fuel station, and all of us on the queue, we had to do transfer. So the thing is, instead of the normal regular thing, you go, you get your fuel, you pay and all. You have to wait till your transfer. They have to go and confirm, for your transfer.
And sometimes these banks can have very annoying.
Presently, it's a big problem. Both transfer, getting cash, and yesterday I wanted to get something around my area, normal stuff, suya and all these things, and
so you go collect your red wine.
Aboki, they tell you, Oga, that was even funny. Oga, do you have the new Naira? I'm like, waiting concern new Naira and waiting. Okay, at the end of the day, I gave you new Naira. Oh yeah, give me change new Naira. No get. Do you understand? So it's affecting everybody. It's really, and I actually pity the petty traders, because it's just a situation of having things to sell,
but nobody is buying.
Nobody's buying.
Which brings me to Honor. Honor likes to cook.
He's
our resident chef. Honora, how has it been like getting to market here in what do they call this market?
The new market.
Oniru
market.
A new market. How has it been like? Have you cooked, by the way, in recent times?
I did yesterday.
Okay.
Because fortunate, I went to the mall,
and
I decided to use my card.
Oh, okay. So you had to, instead of going to buy your normal tomato
Yes.
in the market,
I went to the mall, but unfortunately, I could not buy the tomato because I saw they were selling only 7 for 1,000 something. I said, man, I don't have to cook the stew again. What I did was, and I changed what I intend to cook. I said, okay, let me do sauce. I said, let me do sauce. So I started picking corn, sweet corn, all this, and then came back. I said, wow, that's awesome.
and if
You have to it happened with rice. One of the months here, the other supermarket, I have to drop it and then go back. Decide to turn whatever I have, did a concoction, and just like Ufuoma say, I like cooking my food.
So now it's not a situation of what you want to eat. It's
It-
what the situation would allow you to.
so let me tell you my own experience. I cook, or I used to cook, but for a long time now, make I no lie. When I go through all the stress of managing these big heads, I don't get time again, so a friend over the weekend helped me buy tomato when she went out. So all I just did was, go to the mall and buy chicken. I could get oil for house before. I get Maggi before. So I had almost everything. All I needed was the chicken and the tomato. Tomato, someone helped me get about 1,000 naira somewhere. At least we were able to get 1,000 naira cash to buy it, and then paid with POS to get the chicken, even though it was a little more expensive than it would have been in the ordinary market. But at least I managed, to make that stew, and at least it will last me a couple of days, hoping that, before
I
we
would
can.
say the stew never finished.
Okay, not come my house. You are banned from coming to my house.
So talking about banning me, the past few weeks has been shege on top shege for me, because I've spent, if I can be correct in my calculation, I've spent about 15,000 naira to chase access to currency, the new notes that I have in my hand, the few ones.
That's what
so
you
I
spend
buy
on
to have
extra charges.
So extra charges basically.
Damn.
And yes, there is the car, but to buy fuel too, you get to some filling stations, they tell you we don't do transfer, you have to bring cash. I remember my experience 2 Saturdays ago at Onyigbo. I had to pay 18,000 to get 50,000 naira card because I needed to fill my tank and also get some for my generator at home. Yesterday was everything I bought yesterday. I practically did transfer for everything to the point of plantain. I bought beans. That one, my wife said she just needed one derica. I had to buy 600 naira. I had to do transfer for it. Everything I bought, transfer. So the good thing, I have a report that will probably come out tomorrow about how people have also been embracing transfer, from Okada to bus driver to shoemaker. Shoemaker, they call it transfer.
So I was coming to that, that in spite of the challenges, which are enormous, we have to admit, it's like Tunde said, it's affected each and every one of us. The big man, the small man, the petty trader. I think it was one of the P Square brothers the other day complaining about using 40,000 to get 70,000 or something like that. So it's affected everybody. But in spite of it, there's been some little gains here and there. Now, the whole essence of the Naira redesign and the policy is actually to move away Nigerians from holding that much cash, to bring those who have been unbanked, people like the petty trader or the malam on the street selling suya that does not have a bank account. People are beginning now to realize that, okay, there are other methods, to get through with transactions apart from holding cash. But today, let's also look at it from that same angle, because you want to think that the way people have been struggling to get their own money, queuing sleeping at ATMs, and that's the one that breaks my heart. I was driving through VI, the Eco Hotel roundabout Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m. or the 8 a.m. in the morning, and people are lying down, on very close to the ATM. Some say they slept, there the previous night. It feels to me that as much as that could be a gain, it also brings some form of I'm looking for the right word now, distrust, from those average Nigerians or petty traders with the banking industry.
So for me, just the points IK raised, yes, it has its own part of gain, for me, but like I said, generally it's just been the issue of, okay, even if we want to move away from having little cash hand, going into the proper cashless policy and all of that, but we want to talk about transfers, yeah? We want to talk about online banking and all of that. Are they working?
Good question, which brings me to the next subject. The fact that this was supposed to be a security plus economic policy.
Yeah.
naturally, that's what it should be. Talking about the security part, like I asked that question in the newsroom last week. Have we all noticed that kidnapping has reduced to the barest minimum? Yes, we are complaining, and our fears and our worries are valid. But have we noticed that on the security aspect, kidnapping has reduced? Because the person kidnapping you will demand for cash. You don't have cash. Almost everybody does not have cash. And the other means to get money would be to collect transfer, And if you do that, then that leaves a paper trail. So you can easily know that, oh, this is the person. I can trace the person that kidnapped me. So on that hand, it has actually, been helpful. But let's look at it from a political angle, because apparently the policy has some political connotations. Matter of fact, not even has. The president himself more or less admitted it in his broadcast last week, Thursday. Tunde, first of all, there's the argument from the All Progressives Congress, the governors, and even the presidential candidates, that there's a subsisting Supreme Court injunction, and the president has more or less flouted that injunction by declaring half 200 naira to be valid, while the court says 500 and 1000 are still valid. What do you say about that?
This shows it's just simple. It shows there's a big problem, up there, especially the ruling party. There's really a big problem. Just yesterday, the same party, imagine APC, now asking its own president, matters I feel that they should settle indoors. Ask presidents, please, Oga,
intervene in something that your guy said himself.
Now sending press release and asking, the president outside, that Oga, you need to obey Supreme Court. I need to come into this. It shows a big problem. At the same time, I understand this argument of the governors, they're just coming in now, so many things have been happening and all of that. But at the same time, let us look at it. These governors, do you expect them at this point to just sit down and watch things scatter in their state? Of course no. Yes, they can hide behind this is my state, I need peace, I need calm and all of that. So what is leading to all this crisis and all of that? The money issue, which is coming from up there. So yes, they can always come up and try to defend that and ask president to obey the court, let us follow what the court is saying and all of that. So it's just like a 50-50 thing. Yes, we try to look at it from the political angle. Why are they doing this? It's because probably allegations of it's going to affect them politically and all of that. That's why they come. But on the other hand,
people are suffering.
They won't sit down. Just watch
there's the argument, and a very valid argument about how hypocritical the APC governors actually are. In fact, I think I tweeted something about it last week. We can count the lists of things that have been going on in the country, and the governors have said almost nothing. Students were at home for 8 months. 8 good months. Governors did not go to the Supreme Court. The president had his border closure policy. In fact, some borders are still closed till today. We know the ripple effect of that border closure. Inflation went up, food prices went up. The governors said absolutely nothing. There was NSAS. Some said, but some of the governors were mute. The Supreme Court has given rulings on quite a number of issues. The governors went mute. Why is it now? Why is it this naira scarcity that has drawn daggers everywhere?
So like you said, politics. So the politics in it makes them come now, because they have a lot to lose if they don't come the way they have actually rallied among themselves to come face to face with the presidency, if not the president directly. The main truth is, what they stand to lose this time, because we are very close to the general election.
It's 5 days away.
It is not any way good for any party, especially when you are the ruling party, to be going through this. Because first of all, the first calculation you do is, how does this impact the potential voter? Psychologically, what impression, what meaning is this person going to get out of this? And don't forget, I am very sure, I'm certain that there have been political agreements, political settlements before now. Don't also forget that this issue of vote buying, quote unquote, that the president wants to stop with this policy. In as much as I also feel that it is the wrong approach to fight it, because you don't use what's or to make the president come to power, whichever way, first time, second time. They'll probably be expecting him now that it's your turn.
It's payback time.
To give back to the same system that has made you.
Why are you now trying to frustrate us
You
from
understand?
possibly losing
So
election?
that is the politics in it. The people suffering is then another angle to it that they can also bring up as a face. It's an easy face to sell.
Yeah,
This
these people that are going through this, they know that the party doing it to us is APC. Are they going to now vote APC on Saturday when they know that APC is arguably the cause of the problem? But no, let's look at it from another angle, which would be there's this other argument that when this new naira was released sometime in December, some of these politicians already have been able to stockpile some of these new currencies ahead of the elections. How true or not that is a totally different matter, but I'm just putting it out there. So there's this school of thought that says you're trying to curb vote buying. People are hungry right now. In fact, the ones who are not hungry, who even have money, are unable to get hold of their monies. Will it not be tempting for them on Saturday if they are offered 3,000 naira new note, 5,000 naira new note? People would easily collect these monies because they've not been able to get these monies from the places they're supposed to get it, which is the banks. Could it not boomerang or be counterproductive for the president?
We might not sit here and decide what will happen this Saturday because a lot of things have actually happened before now.
Okay.
A lot of people are hungry, a lot of people are angry, and that anger might translate into actually saying no or collecting whatever is being given to you and still go against
The party.
wish. So it's just there. Secondly, this policy is a policy of cash mobbing.
True.
Like we are made to understand.
True.
It's a policy of cashless banking. It's a policy of checking vote buying. So it depends on the angle we are coming from. And let me be honest to you, a lot of Nigerians are more informed now to the point they say, man, we will not take this. We will not take this again from anybody because we suffered. If they give you the 10,000 naira, is it going to last for the next 4 years?
Good question.
So that is just an issue. Why
But-
some
but
might
some-
not even take the money and still vote. So I believe that the narrative this time around is different from what we experienced in 2014, 2015. A pointer is what happened in Anambra. Ayamelemu women were given money. They rejected the money. They went against the candidate. And they staged a protest that we don't want your money, your salt and everything. And they came out. People saw it. So what I'm saying that there are some people that might even decide to say this policy that is actually seems to be seemingly against a particular candidate, we might use because of it and vote for that candidate because
The same candidate
you
has been-
benefited from this.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to make us not to project issues that Saturday might be a different ball game in the election or voting pattern of a lot of people.
Well-
in one house, some people might vote 3 different political parties.
Definitely.
Because of what they believe in. So, in answering your question, I say it will not. In the sense that if you've stayed hungry for days, for weeks, and now you know that if I reject this 10,000 naira, I'll still have hope of staying. You can reject it and move on.
Well. So like
As long as you don't die.
like you said, we never can tell. However, there's also another aspect to this conversation, that I want us to look at. Maybe not in detail, but I'll just throw it out. The CBN and the presidency have been accused of, printing more than they should, printing more money than approved by the National Assembly. Some have alleged that this whole redesign policy is a ploy to get back all of that cash in circulation by the CBN. Whether that is true or not, I'll leave that to the economists to deal with. I don't have a seasoned economist in the studio, so I'll just leave that. All we do here is try to report the facts, and
But you know for a fact that the cost of printing this new note, this redesigned note, was not captured in the 2022 budget.
2022 or 2023?
2022.
Okay, 2022.
Well, this policy started in 2022. It
Okay.
wasn't captured. There was no record of supplementary budget to that effect. So where exactly is the CBN getting the money to fund what they had already printed?
That's another question we probably might not be able to answer today. But let's move on from this cash issues. Adewale from Ikeja on WhatsApp says, Ufuma, these governors don't have enough new notes to give out to voters. Well, it could possibly be true, because I think I remember it was 2 weeks ago the CBN governor said at the time that we had about 2 plus trillion naira supposedly in circulation, that they had gotten back about 1.2 or thereabout. That it was about 900 billion that was still out, that they needed to get in. And then El Rufai, the Kaduna governor, actually alleged, I think it was yesterday, that the CBN has mopped up about 2 trillion naira but only brought back 400 billion in circulation. So there's the likelihood that, yes, allegedly these governors or these politicians, let's not leave it to just governors, that the politicians, and by the way, the politicians cut across everybody, it's not just one person, that these politicians actually have these new naira notes, but maybe the problem is that they don't have enough supposedly to go around. But then again, the politicians will tell you, hey, I actually need money to be able to prosecute elections. You need money for your party agents. You need money to sort out logistics and a lot of things. But on another hand, somebody would say, do you need cash? You can as well collect their account numbers
and do the transfer.
Send transfers. Guys, it is a whole lot. It is a whole lot. We will not end this conversation here. But quickly, Saturday is upon us. And over the last couple of years, since the election season started, the one thing we've tried to do here on Nigeria Info is give the listener as much information as they need or as they want. We'll beat our chest and say Nigeria Info has done even if nobody's praising us. Ufuoma Egbamuno, I will praise myself. I'm the lizard who falls from the tree, and is not. We have tried our possible best to educate, inform, and this is a collaborative effort. The Newsroom, Programs Department, the OAPs, everybody, the value chain from the intern to the reporter to the producer to the editor to the anchor. We've tried our possible best to ensure that we give the Nigeria Info listener, and of course from our sister stations School FM and Wazobia, all they need to know. We were at the forefront of voter education, voter registration. We literally took it upon ourselves as our CSO, even the ones that CSR, sorry. Sometimes these things happen. Even the one where INEC no send us, we still tried our possible best to do it. But Saturday is upon us. Saturday is the start of the elections. And I'm sure each and every one of us here, including our other guys out of the studio, are going to be in several parts of Lagos State trying to cover what's happening. Ikechi, let me start with you. You're definitely going to be around the Ikorodu axis. First, tell me what it's been like in previous elections out there, and what are you looking forward to in this election?
Okay, so I'm going to give an overview of what it has been as an experience for me since like 2015. I was in Ajegula in 2015. 2019, I was in Ogun State first. Then I went to Okota for the second the governorship election, or state election as it is. So, and I've also done a couple of local government elections in Ikorodu and by-elections, basically. So it's always been like a familiar terrain. So doing Ikorodu will not be any way hard or difficult for me, basically. And of course, it's our work.
Abi?
We will report. we will definitely report.
Tunde Pratt, you are a veteran in covering elections in Lagos State.
He deserves it.
You be OG. We're supposed to give you placard. What are you looking forward to in the 20? every year they say the elections is the most important. I think this is a very important election, especially also because in 2019 there was voter apathy. A lot of Nigerians were really not happy with the APC administration after 4 years. They were also not particularly interested in the opposition at the time, who also happens to be a candidate now. And so you saw that the numbers decreased between 2015 and 2019. Do you think that we'll have the same voter apathy in 2023?
Well, I'm sure if you ask anybody before the election, they will definitely tell you no, because they feel that this time around, people are actually ready, as they've been saying. The thing is, it is one thing to shout and all of that before election.
It's another thing to go out and vote on that day.
It's another ball game on election days. I mean, you hear a whole lot of people saying a whole lot of things before election. This time around we want to come out. This time around we protect our vote. But election day, you come out and you start asking questions. I mean, where are these people? Do you understand? But this time, if you are to ask me, I think it will be different. I'm expecting not the usual thing of getting to polling units and reporting that people are not really coming out, or people are still at home and all of that. I think it's going to be different. I feel people are going to come out en masse to do their thing. We've also heard of this rivalry thing that has been there, between parties. This is who I'm going to. Unlike before that, it has always been almost one-sided or two. This time around there's a new man. New man or new people coming.
Exactly.
With strong hands. So, which definitely means that some other people too will be coming out to vote. So this time around, I expect to have a busy road, a busy day. And I'm also expecting the normal tradition in Lagos is, you won't expect people to come out early. They still want to take their time. They still want to do this or do that and all of that. But this time, I feel with all the talks of let us protect our votes, let us all go out, let us go to, go and call your friends, come, let's go and vote. People getting
there's more seriousness now.
So I expect that this time around.
Nana, this is going to be your first election coverage. What are you looking forward to? You're smiling.
So I'm looking forward to Saturday, especially because according to has said that a lot of students in election around a young person.
They usually play football on today or are watching BB Naija, at home. You're looking forward to what they will do.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of them. Not everyone be very like they come at the
Training. It's not
All right.
Saturday. What should we expect?
Saturday, we are looking at the 93.4 million Nigerians coming out to decide. That is the figure that will be bantered by INEC.
Yeah. Registered voters.
Registered voters. Yeah. If we cast our mind back, we know that 35% actually voted
the last election.
So I anticipate a situation where there will be an increase because of awareness, because of variety. Because like Tunde said, before it's either you are here or there. It's either you are supporting for the man there to come down or you are supporting the one to go. But this time around, there is a different.
The man there is actually not contesting. Somebody wants to replace him.
And the unspoken word or the body language is that the man there, seemingly or unseemingly, not supporting
his supposed party, even though he came out publicly to tell you people yesterday, my candidate is so and so.
Like we all know. That's a sign language. There's a body language.
And then there's
a verbal. So
oh no, hold it there. Hold it there. It's almost time for us to leave the studio. I've got some messages. Someone says Nigeria are wiser. Let the politicians bring the money to share on election day. People will take it. After all, it was their own or is their own. Okay. Why is Ufuoma attributing the supposed reduction in kidnapping to Naira redesign? The fact that they happen around the same time does not imply that one caused the other. Jeremiah from Atlanta. Well, Jeremiah, the truth of the matter is, whether you want to accept it or not, it's kind of strange that it has stopped now. That we have these Naira scarcity. The pointer is definitely the person who is kidnapping you knows that there's no money, there's no cash for you. The only way to get money from you is wires, and if they take that, then they can be traced. It's very simple. You don't even need to have a PhD, to know that. Bayo from Moe, thank you very much for your thoughts. Unfortunately, I'll not be able to take all of them. You say, see, this policy is more of politically self-brewed than in the interest of public as been portrayed. I might want to agree with you, but thank you guys. We've got just 30 seconds before we wrap up the studio. I've had my senior news editors Tunde Pratt and Honor Anuwo, but I've also had my senior producer and Wazobia news anchor Mikechiko Yemike, and of course I've got my PA my honorable PA and correspondent Precious Nnenna Okon. Kudos also to Ken and Emmanuel Onwuka for the production. Guys, go out on Saturday and vote. My name is Ufuoma Egbamuno. Take care.